Hello friends, welcome again back to another tutorial. How you all doing, guys? Hope you're all good today. Today guys, I'll take you through on how to draft a two-piece sleeve pattern. Two-piece sleeve pattern for what? A notch collar jacket or a blazer jacket. In my previous tutorial, I already showed you how to draft this pattern for making the notch collar jacket, and also how the sewing process was of making the notch collar or the lapel jacket or the blazer jacket. So this is what the two-piece sleeve pattern looks like. Okay, I'm going to take you through the easy way what you can achieve this one. Without wasting much time, let's get to it. So this is my pattern paper. Okay, yes, so the first thing I'm going to do now is to draft what? A basic sleeve. Okay, yes, I'm going to take you through on how to draft a basic sleeve pattern before what we'll head over to creating what? The two-piece sleeve pattern. So now I have my desired length. Okay, this is a full length sleeve, and the full length of this sleeve is going to be 24 inches. Then I'll go ahead and add like extra 1 inches for the hemming allowance and joining allowance at the lowest part there. Okay, yes, so this totally depends on what your desired length. So now that I have my desired length, I'm just trying to get it all together in a straight line. Now the next thing now I am going to do is to go ahead and rule that line there. So we have what at the length of our sleeve already done. Now I'm going to go ahead now and what indicate what the calf side. So this is a sleeve, a suit sleeve, so I'm going to be using a calf size of 6. So when we are cutting out our regular sleeve, we usually use between 4, 4.5 or even 5, but because this is a suit sleeve, that's why I'm using 6 inches for the calf side. Now on this the calf side line, I'm indicating the round armhole circumference of 10. Then I added extra 1 inches there, which made it what? 11. That's what I mean is 20 divided by 2, that's 10. I hope you understand. So from that point, I created a slanted line to the edge there. Now this slanted line, I'm going to measure it. Whatever I have there, I will split it what? Into 2 to get the midpoint. Okay, yeah, so I had about 12 there, so the midpoint was about 6 there. So from that midpoint now, I will now create an inverted S, just like you see me do. You can see, create an inverted S. So this is going to give us what? Our armhole. Okay, yes, so this is what it looks like. Now the next thing now I'm going to do after creating my armhole is to start what? Indicating the vertical lines. Okay, yes, so you can see what we have here. So from the top, the next line is going to be the bicep. My bicep is at 7 inches, so I'm going ahead what to rule a straight line for my biceps. Then the next is going to be my elbow. My elbow line, I took it at 14 inches. Then of course we already have what? The length of our sleeve there. So you can see me indicating lines on my elbow there, and that's it. So the next thing I'll do now is to take what? The round sleeve circumference on this part. For the biceps, the round circumference there was 14 divided by 2, that's 7. I added extra 1 inches, okay, for the allowance. Then on my elbow there, the round circumference there was about 12.5, splitted it into 2, then I added 1 inches. Then for the ankle there, the round sleeve there was 10. I split it into 2, and that's 5. So I also added extra 1 inches, and that's just it. It's that simple. So this is how we would create what our basic sleeve pattern. So I'm just going ahead to connect all the points together, and we have this already now. You can see this. So I'll just go ahead now and what? Cut this entire piece out. So when I'm done cutting my sleeve, you can see what we have. We have it already. This is what it looks like. Now the next thing I'm going to do now is to what? Indicate what? The center line. Indicate the center line. So because of the folding of this paper, you can already see the mark of the center line there, and I'm also extending that elbow line. So I'm going to be working with my tape a lot because of how this paper was just rolling over. Just to put it in place, I use my tape to hold it down so I can indicate that center line properly. So having my center line now, you can see this, making it more visible. Now what I'm going to do now is to go ahead now and bring my piece together. Just watch what I'm doing. I'm going to bring it together on each end. From one side, I'll bring them to the center. You can see the way I'm bringing it to the center. right? Then I'll do the same thing on the lowest part as well. So this should meet at the center. Now it's not necessary that everything must align at the center, because the sleeve, of course, by the side is not a straight line, so you have some opening in between there, but just make sure that at least the lowest part and the top part meets what at the center. So once I've achieved this, now I'm going ahead to slit it open. You can see what I'm doing. So I'll slit it open on one side like this, and also going to slit it open on the other side. Okay, yes, so this is what I'm doing now. Now these two, I'm going to be working differently with them. So the first part now, these two that I've already slitted open, you can see I'm going to be placing each of them on a separate paper. I'm setting aside that one first, then we'll start working with this one. You can see what we have here. I'm so sorry, at a point where my camera is a bit blurry at some parts, please apologize for that, bear with me please. Okay, now that I have my plain paper ready, I'm going to bring the first one we cut off. You can see I'm going to place it on top of it. So what we are going to do now is to go ahead and trace. That's just what we're going to do. I'll go ahead and trace this shape properly like this, the way it is now. So I'm just trying to put everything in place. Then I'll use my ruler, just to get a perfect straight curve, so that we don't get it all rough. As you can see, I'm using my ruler to really have a very good trace there. On the curvy part as well, I'm going to be adjusting it later with my curve ruler. And also, very importantly, I indicated that elbow line. So now that I have it already traced out, I'm trying to use my tape to just put my pattern paper in place. You can see this. So when I have it in place, now I'm going to use my ruler to trace those lines properly, because you can see they are not that visible. So I'm just trying to sketch them properly. Now you can see the lines very well. Then I'll use my curve ruler now to also trace the curvy parts on the top there. So you can see this now. All right, so now that we have it now, so you can see this is what that first pattern looks like. We have it in one piece now. So we'll start creating the two-piece effect. So try to indicate that elbow line very importantly and label it. Okay, now also label front and back. Just one part. Is very, very important to label this part. You don't get it mixed up. At every point you work, make sure you label it. Okay, it's very, very important, front and back there. Now what I'm going to do now is to move out 1 inch on this front side. Then on the back side, I'm going to move in by 1 inch. Just watch what I'm doing. You can see on the front part, I'm moving out by 1 inch by the side. Then I will extend the line. Then I'm going to connect it to the elbow. You can see this. While on the back side there, okay, I'm going to move in by 1 inch. You can see this now. Then I'll go ahead and also connect it to the elbow. So now this is my new line. So every new line I draw, I will discard the previous one. Take note of that. Then on that same front side, I'm going to move up by 0.5 inches, the one I'm indicating it. Then on the back side, I will move down by 0.5 inches. So what I'm doing now is to discard those initial lines so that we don't get confused. You can see this now. Okay, we moved up by 0.5 inches. Then on that back side, that's the new line there, we'll move down by 0.5 inches. Then you go ahead and bring those two lines together by connecting the points. You can see. And that's what I'm doing now. You can see this now. Yes, so that's it, guys. So which means the other lines there will be discarded as well. So you can see this now. So now the next thing I'm going to do now is to take away 0.5 inches by the side. Okay, so which means I have to move inwards all around the side. Just watch what I'm going to do now. Okay, 0.5. So this 0.5 inches we are taking away, we are going to be replacing it when we cut the other parts. Okay, yes, so you can see now I'm going ahead to move in by 0.5 inches. So that which means we're taking away 0.5 inches. Now this one now I'm drawing is going to be the new line now, which means the initial one as well is going to be discarded. guys, don't worry. It will look as if it's a little bit confusing, but take your time, go through it again if you have to. Trust me, it's not difficult. Okay, yes. So you can see now I'm going ahead to discard the initial line as well. So that 0.5 inches line we just moved in now is now going to be our original line. So on the lower part now, I wanted to add my sewing allowance and the hemming allowance. You see, that's why I'm extending it, but I later discarded it because I just remembered while I was creating my sleeve pattern, I've already added my hemming and sewing allowance. Okay, yes, so that's why I have to but if you did not, please put in your sewing allowance there. So you can see now I'm cutting away from that line, so going ahead now to cut it out, and that's it, guys. That's it. Honestly, it's that simple. Yes, guys. So going ahead to cut this part, cutting it on the lines there, you can see this, and also cut on the other side as well. Then I'll go ahead and also cut the curvy part as well. Yes, so I'm trying to put my paper in place, okay, because it was just moving here and there, so I needed to have it in place so that I don't get a wrong cutout. You can see this is what the first piece looks like. Remember, you can see I'm putting back that front and back piece there just to make it more visible. It's very important to have this in place. So we have this already sorted out. Then we'll bring the other piece. Now you can see the other piece. I will do the same thing again. I'm placing it on a new pattern paper, and I'll go ahead and trace the shape as well. Now I'm going to trace in such a way that you give some space by the side, because we're going to be adding some allowances by the side. Remember, the first piece we took away allowance by the side, allowance of 0.5 inches, but this one we're going to be adding by the side. So you can see I'm going ahead to cut it out in such a way that I already have some space about 2 inches by both sides. You can see this now. So I'll just arrange it properly by using my tape to, put everything in place. You can see what we have now. I've also gone ahead to indicate the elbow line as well. You can see this now. Very, very important. And my lines are in place. The parts that are not visible, I'm trying to make it more visible, so you can see this now. All right, so now we are going to repeat the same process. I'm labeling it again, front and back. You can see, very important. Now remember, just like we did for the previous piece, at the front side we moved out by 1 inch, right? So I'm moving out by 1 inches by the side there. I'll move out by 1 inches. While on the back side, we'll move in by 1 inches. So the one we'll move out will connect. We're always connecting it to that elbow line. You can see this now. We're connecting it to the elbow line like so. Then on the back side, we'll move in by 1 inch. And we'll also connect it to the elbow line. And just like I told you, every new line we draw, you discard the other one so that you don't get confused. You can see the one will move out, so I'm discarding the other one. You can see it now. And so the same thing for the other side as well. You can see this. Now remember, on that front side as well, we also moved up by 0.5 inches on the new line there, while on the back side we moved down by 0.5 inches. What I did here is the same thing I applied for the previous piece. You can see this, so I'll go ahead and connect it. So this is it, guys. So the next thing we'll now do is to put the side allowance. Like I said, the previous piece we took away 0.5 inches, but this one we are going to be adding. Okay, we are going to be adding, and this one we're going to be adding as much as 1.5 inch. 1.5 inch by the side, although I later changed it to 1 inch. Okay, yes, because I remember I already have my allowance added when I was drafting my pattern. Okay, so if you didn't have your allowance drafted, you can go ahead and add as much as 1.5 inches. So although I was already adding my 1.5 inches, like you can see, so I later remembered and started reducing it to 1 inch. That is what I'm doing right now. You can see this. All right, so 1 inches by the side. Remember, we took away 0.5 inches on the previous piece. That's why we moved it inward, but here we are adding. That's why we are marking the line outside the already drawn piece. I hope you understand. So 1 inch is what I went ahead now to connect it. Oh, I hope you can see this. And that's it, guys. So like I said, every point we draw the new line, you discard the previous one, which is what I did here, so that we don't get confused. Guys, we're done. You won't believe it. That is it for this other piece. So I went ahead to cut. Just like I said, I already added my hemming allowance when I was drafting my pattern, so there was no need. If you did not add, please, at this point, you make sure you add your extra allowance at the top and also at the lowest part. So going ahead to cut this out, guys, our two-piece sleeve is ready. That's it, guys. It's that simple. You can see we have our two-piece all ready. So the next thing, of course, now is to go ahead and place it on our fabric and to start, so doing the sewing process, which I am going to be showing you what in the next tutorial. Okay, yes, because that one is a detail. I can't pile it up here, honestly, so that we don't get this all bulky and also you don't get confused. So I'll do a separate tutorial on that one as well. So this is what our two-piece sleeve pattern. Thank you so much, guys. We've come to the end of this one and I hope you find this helpful. Please don't forget to subscribe, like and share. Remember to share with your friends and sewing community. See you on the next one. Bye.